Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is keeping safe. I hope everyone is in good spirits. I know these are trying times for us, but I do know that we're all going to come out stronger by the grace of God. Just keep staying positive. So I'm back, and my video today is actually about starting your own fashion business. So I see the comments that you guys leave, and I'm so happy. I'm always so happy when someone leaves a comment after watching the video. And I'm seeing a lot of people saying, oh, I think I want to try out my brand. This video has inspired me. So I felt it'll be good for me to just share some tips with you for those that are considering starting their own fashion brand. Some of the things that you need to consider before starting your fashion brand is: one, the type of business, the skill that you want to build your business on. So do you want it to be small? Do you want it to be like a mom and pop shop? Do you want it to be really big? You see yourself as the next Zara? Those are big goals. In as much as everyone thinks that everyone wants to be big, I've met people that just want their bills to be paid. So if you're running a business to, say, pay your bills or just make extra money on the side, that business is going to be different from the kind of business that you're basically investing a lot of money in, that you see growing into something that's bigger than you. So you need to think about it. Do you want to run a small business and you're content with just something on the side? I just want a little extra money. These are things that you need to consider. And if you're going to run a small business, there are things that you shouldn't be doing, and there are things that you shouldn't be spending too much money on. And if you're going to run a business that's going to surpass you, then you're already looking at like a brand. So if you're building a brand, another thing to consider is the type of brand that you want to be. So you have to do research and basically have a template for the kind of brand you want to be. You have to have a vision of where you see the brand in the next couple of years. So I'm not even saying like having like a detailed specific plan for the brand. I'm just saying an overview of the type of brand you want to be, because this is going to inform your messaging, it's going to inform your communications, it's going to inform your branding and everything that you need to communicate when you start the brand. So you need to consider the type of brand that you want to be. Do you want to be a super formal brand? Do you want to be an aspirational brand? Do you want to be a quirky, fun brand? Do you want to be a sexy brand? Do you want to be like a really classy, ladylike brand? These are things that you want to consider while thinking of starting your own fashion business. Another thing you want to think about is production. So you want to start your fashion business now. You have a little capital and you're thinking, should I go and buy machines? How many machines do I need to buy? I would advise you to not do that to start. So everyone thinks that they need to have a factory. You do not need to have a factory to run a fashion business. In fact, when I first started, I really looked for options for outsourcing production. I remember I was in talks with China, Turkey. There was this company, Soko, in Kenya. I was already having conversations with them, but every time I always ran into this problem of not being able to fund the minimum order quantity. So most of them would want like maybe 200 units per style. That was back then, but now there's smaller factories even here in Lagos that take maybe 10 minimum order quantity per style, some 50, some 200. So you need to do your research and explore outsourcing production. I wouldn't advise you to set up a factory because there's a lot that goes into it. We're thinking even running like a production facility. First of all, quality control is like a major struggle even for established brands, and these things are expensive. So it makes more sense when you're starting out to outsource your production. And even at the stage that I am in, even though I have like I can manage a lot of quantities, I still look to outsource for certain things. For like t-shirts, for instance, I do not produce t-shirts in my factory, and instead of me investing in machines for producing t-shirts, I just outsource it. So you don't have to do every single thing. Outsource as much as you can when you start. And so another thing that you want to consider, this is something that a lot of people do not consider, and it's other careers in fashion. So a lot of people think that because they love fashion and they're interested in fashion that they have to be a designer. You do not have to be a designer. There's so many careers in fashion. There is pattern cutting, there is quality control, there is content creation, there's styling, there's communications. There's so many aspects of fashion. You don't have to limit yourself to design. Don't make the mistake of thinking that just because you love fashion and you have a flair for it, or you're enthused about fashion, you have to be a designer. You do not have to be a designer. Another thing you want to consider again is working in the fashion industry. So people underestimate the importance of experience. Oh my God, experience helps you so much, and it helps you like save on some mistakes that you'd have made along the line. So with working in the fashion industry, there's a particular feedback that I get from people, and it's that designers don't want to take interns, and I'll tell you why in this video, so that it can help you better your chances at getting a job in the fashion industry. First of all, if you want a job in the fashion industry, you have to have a sellable skill, that you have to be able to add value to that organization. So you can't just say you want to work for someone, you want to learn. On whose dime? No. First of all, they're most likely going to pay for internships. I don't think anybody takes unpaid interns, except it's like an apprenticeship like plan, which is something different. But if you want to intern for an organization, you need to be able to add value to that organization. For instance, it could be a brand that you see that, oh, okay, they might not have, maybe they're outsourcing their digital design, their graphic design. You can say, okay, while I'm interning, I can provide this organization with my skills in graphic design. And that way, that's something that you can sell to them, and they can say, you know what, while we have this intern on board, we can also cut on costs on graphic design, and then it makes sense for them. So it's not just graphic design, it could be maybe digital marketing, it could be fashion illustration. And the beauty about these things is that there are courses online that you can learn it. There are courses online, free courses, not even paid courses now. Right here on YouTube, there's so many videos on different skills that you can actually use to make yourself valuable or attractive to a potential employer. So another another thing to consider before starting your fashion business is, okay, sorry, before I go further, I need to add this. I don't think it's fair to have a full-on fashion business and want to work in the fashion industry. Put yourself in the shoes of the designer. You don't want to employ someone that has a full-on business. So when you want to work in the fashion industry, if you're considering it, I think putting your own brand on hold in that period would be like the best way to go. Because see, I'm being honest with you, I will not employ someone that has a full-on fashion business. Like, are you my competition that wants to now come and work for me? No, you have to be able to be completely in that brand while you're there. So I'm not even saying that you can't have a side hustle, but it's, you know, it's a different thing if you're maybe selling jewelry or selling accessories and then you want to work with a fashion designer. That makes sense. You can do your side hustle and your interests are not like competing. But when you have, say you want to work with someone that does Asoebi and then you're doing Asoebi on the side and then your clients are like the same, I don't think it's wise. So it's better to, if you're going to be searching for a job, put your fashion business on hold. I know some people might not like this advice because everyone wants to eat their cake and have it, but I'm going to tell you one thing for sure. I, as a fashion designer, I'm not going to employ someone that has a full fashion business and also now come into my business and take ideas and just go, or what exactly is the plan? So when I say work in the fashion industry, I'm looking at you having a job for an extended period of time because you're trying to gain experience, not dashing in and dashing out and then implementing in your business. No, I'm looking at you actually gaining expertise in that industry and then now deciding whether or not you want to go and start or go and continue your business. So the next point, another thing to consider is, what is your special sauce? So in the business world, they'll say, what is your unique selling point, your USP? So basically, you don't want to be like every other brand that is out there. And I see that mistake with people trying to be the next Lady Bieber or the next Diola Sego, the next, what brand is out there. No, you are you. There's something in every single person. I genuinely believe that everyone has a secret sauce, but people are just too focused on what everyone else is doing. So you'd see, sometimes I see sponsored posts on my Instagram and I'm like, this looks exactly like a brand. And then I see everything from the way the photo shoot is done, the direction, even up until the model. I've seen exact copies of designs by other Nigerian designers, and it makes me wonder what the plan is exactly. Are you trying to ride off on the fact that this person has built something and it has worked, they experimented and it worked, and then you're trying to ride off on the success of that particular piece? Like, what is the plan? Because I tell you this, if you copy other brands, people are going to come to you because of that. They're not going to come to you because you are a particular brand. Like, they're not coming to you because of you. They're coming to you because you seem, maybe they can't afford that brand and then you're giving them a cheaper version. So and it still goes down to the point that I made. What type of brand do you want to be? Do you want to be known as a copycat brand? Do you want to be known as a cheaper alternative? Whatever type of brand that you want, every action that you're doing, with every collection, with every piece you're making, you're communicating you're sending that message. So these are things that you want to think about. What is your unique selling point? Everyone has one. You don't have to do things the way everybody else is doing it. You can do it in a different way, and it might work, it might not work. And that's the beauty of entrepreneurship. You just don't know. You're basically implementing your ideas and seeing how well it works. So my next point and final point is, what is the market? What is the market saying? So a lot of people talk about Rihanna's beauty company, Fenty, and I seen this meme or this quote that was saying, what if Rihanna said, everybody's doing makeup, what do I have to add to that? And she never did Fenty. I love that quote, by the way, but I think a lot of people fail to understand that she didn't just enter the market and say, I'm Rihanna and I'm going to make my makeup products. She actually did her market research, and one thing you would find with her brand is that it is inclusive. Not just the makeup brand, even the underwear brand, from the type of models that they use, they basically set a standard in that industry. So she didn't just go into that industry just to be another makeup maker or another foundation, another contour, whatever. She went there to make a statement, and that statement was, we need more representation. And you can see that her makeup, her foundation line had from like the albino shade to the darkest of the darkest shade. And the funny thing about this, other beauty brands that were established did not consider like those spectrum. They always said, oh, there isn't enough demand, yada yada yada. They were always complaining that this brand there isn't enough customers for them to consider that aspect of the market. But guess what? After Fenty did her foundation launch, a lot of them are now doing the same. You see brands like Lancome, Bobbi Brown. A lot of them now are being more inclusive and they're more intentional about inclusivity. So that's something that like you need to think about. She didn't just go to be another makeup brand. She didn't copy anybody's branding. She did her thing. And that's what really helped at the end of the day, because there were women that didn't feel that they were being seen with the products that were out there. So there will be something that you can add. I don't think that every brand or every person has all the answers. It's not easy. Don't just go. I know everyone, once you have a good fashion sense or you dress well, the next thing everyone is saying is go and start your fashion brand, or you're tired with your 9 to 5, go and start your fashion brand. See, there's a lot that goes into running a fashion business, especially if you want it to be successful. So I do not recommend starting a fashion brand as something to pass time or as something to just do that will be easier than your 9 to 5, because trust me, it's going to require a lot in terms of your own like investment of your time, investment of your money, of your resources. It will require you really pushing yourself, especially if you want to have a brand that is renowned. So these are just something. This is not all that you need to consider before starting a fashion brand. I mean, there are resources out there. I just wanted to give you just a practical thing to think about, because I know a lot of people that come here to watch are in that process of deciding whether they want to start a fashion business or not. So it is not easy, but people are succeeding in this industry. I mean, the richest man in Spain, Amancio Ortega, is a fashion entrepreneur. So if you're out there, you're about to start a brand, why don't you just do a shout out in the comment section? Let me hear you guys. I want to hear you guys. If you found this video helpful, please comment, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.